Bob Woodward also mentions NAFTA in the book, just as Canada is set to resume negotiations with the Trump administration tomorrow. Katie Simpson is in Washington following the talks. And Katie, what are in these allegations?
Well, the book also lays out a desperate attempt to save NAFTA by a senior aide in the White House. It was early last year when a White House secretary was apparently ordered by Donald Trump to draft a letter that would have the U.S. withdraw from the trade agreement. The staffer was conflicted, believing the move would hurt the American economy and relationships with Canada and Mexico. So he decided to turn to Gary Cohn for advice, who at the time was a senior economic advisor to the president. According to the book, Cohen decided the best way to stop Trump was to steal the paper from the president's desk. That fresh revelation will hang over negotiators when they sit down to talk face-to-face again tomorrow. And of course, Trump spent much of the weekend tweeting threats at Canada, saying he is prepared to move forward on a new agreement without the Canadians and warned Congress to get out of his way. All of it is a blunt and fresh reminder of just how fragile these talks really are.
So as you point out, there's the content of what's in this book, and then there's the timing. And so tomorrow, Foreign Affairs Minister Chrystia Freeland is going to be in Washington. What are we watching for over the next week?
Well, sources say that negotiators were very close to an agreement on Friday, but all sides are still not comfortable with a few sticking points. And really, there are three big ones to watch. First, the dispute resolution system, or what's called Chapter 19. It sends disagreements to an independent arbitrator rather than an American court. The U.S. wants to remove it altogether and has reportedly convinced Mexico to accept that concession. Canada is demanding it remain in the pact.
We will not sign a deal that is bad for Canadians, and quite frankly, not having a Chapter 19 to ensure that the rules are followed would be bad for Canadians.
Then there's Canada's dairy industry. The U.S. wants Canada to kill its supply management regulation system that places tariffs on dairy and certain imported products. Canada is not caving on that request, but it is willing to make some concessions to allow American farmers to sell more dairy products north of the border. When talks broke off on Friday, Canada and the U.S. were still negotiating what that will look like. And finally, protections for Canadian culture, including the arts. Canada wants to keep and update the original NAFTA exemptions to ensure homemade productions are not drowned out by Hollywood. The Americans say Canadian content protections are a problem, but Canada isn't budging.
It is inconceivable to Canadians that an American network might buy Canadian media affiliates, whether it's newspaper or TV stations or TV networks. It would be a giving up of our sovereignty and our identity, and that is something that we simply will not accept.
Those issues and concerns remain unresolved, but expect Chapter 19 to really be the most contentious point, Ian.
All right, Katie, thank you.
Thanks.